Okay, it's just a video diary. There's another one that was on my tail. I don't know why they would be all up on me like that. So this is the police department. So I feel like I'm Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement trying to get civil rights again. Because I don't have any. So I have to go in here and play games with my abusers while they tamper with evidence and get away with felonies and act mob-like mentality for it to continue to get ignored for years. Hello, I was told that I can report police committing crimes here, Bill?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Clark, yes. So I can do a supplement.
Oh, I'm just doing a report. Are you depriving me of my right to report crimes here like you've been doing in the past?
Supplement for you, okay?
You don't know why I'm here?
Well, ma'am, Miss Clark, you've been here many times.
But something else happened today, and I thought it was a crime for you to do like you've been doing and prevent me from reporting crimes.
Okay, what happened?
Okay. Is your body cam on? It's not on. It's not blinking. Yeah, that's a felony. Okay. Okay, will I get a report number this time? Because you've been committing a lot of crimes, getting away with it years, Bill. Like the interference with child custody.
What happened?
I'm reporting crimes and you're interrupting me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I gave you the interference with child custody. You copied it, and you told me you would give it to Fox. Fox claims he didn't get it and covered for the interference with child custody crimes. I reported crimes to the court. The prosecutor, the police officer, and the judge committed a crime and would not report the suspected child abuse that this department has been covering up for years, as well as all other police departments. The police are behaving like the mob, coming to intervene at me getting services at church, domestic violence organizations. I'm concerned about the church that I attended a long time, Inspiring Body of Christ Church, the scandal they had. It would take something really extreme for a pastor to turn his back on someone that's been attended his church years, did the service for my mom's death, and then all of a sudden let me get drugged out of his church. So there was a scandal there. Then at the Fountain of Living Word, his car window was busted out. Another church, I don't want to put their name out, but they had picketers too, and their house was shot up, and they deprived me of services too. So these extreme events, and I'm concerned about Coronado, badge number 1121, that came out and, instead of helping me get in domestic violence, like all locations, all of them that I go to, she wanted to slander me. I don't know why I get so much slander by the police department.
What's your date of birth, Ms. Clark?
I'm still reporting crimes. There's a lot of crimes that happen to me.
I'm gonna let my sergeant know you're here, okay?
No, because that's how you tamper with evidence. You don't want it on the body cam footage, which is a felony crime. You've been scheming to prevent me from having reports. That's how you've been getting away with felonies. So you pretend like you need the supervisor out so you won't have to have it on your body cam footage, the crimes I'm reporting, which is a felony crime. He's guarding it. So they have these people like at Walmart that guard and enforce criminal activity and make sure these people commit these crimes and jeopardize their livelihood. So they stand and intimidate and enforce officers that may not want to commit the crime to enforce criminal activity. So not only do they intimidate me, they use intimidation tactics to make officers, churches, and a multitude of other people conspire with crimes. As I said before COVID, when the police departments acts like the mob, I think it's a threat to national security. But they were too busy giving me criminal trespasses and handcuffing me at the FBI covering for it before COVID. So now he don't want it on the body cam footage as they've been tampering with evidence years. They have to use this scheme because he had it off, and now he has to interrupt and not give me the report number for cover-up, which is a felony. Tampering with evidence is a felony. So now he's sitting down. Isn't that a crime, Bell? We didn't address the interference with child custody and why you lied about giving that document to Fox. And how you had me on hold an hour waiting for a solution and I never got it. Interference with child custody is a felony, even if the police department chooses to be behind it. I'm tired of getting assaulted and violated by the department, deprived of housing, any assistance and love, even at church. You know full blown well the number one reason people stay in abuse is not having a support system and housing. And you come and have interrupted all of it. And then it's sadistic enough to entice these people to become abusers too. Not only deprive me of services, but abuse me in the process. I don't know why the government's breaking up Rico charges. Ain't been getting away with it years. So they have to call right here to put me in my place. So let's see what scheme they have up now. Instead of all the major amounts that I said, things that I said, slander, that's slandering me is a crime.
Okay. So let my sergeant know you're here.
But you just did the report and they wouldn't be on the body cam footage.
Supplement stating.
I didn't ask you for that. It's a new one. So you're tampering with evidence again. You've committed that crime. No, I'd like a new report number. You keep tampering with evidence.
So Ms. Clark, this is a public area, so you're welcome to stay here in this public area.
So you want to tamper with evidence again?
Away, okay?
So you're depriving me of the report number? That's why I keep having to call 911 and the court lied. You guys keep racking up felonies, getting away with it. So he didn't want that on the body cam like they've been doing years, cutting it off. That's a felony you just witnessed. So you can imagine having guns pulled on me, my son hit with a car, slander all over, forced to live in a tent, terrified for my life, never been out on the streets, deprived of housing, love, compassion, my family hanging up in my face, don't know either one day or the next if I'm gonna get murdered by our police department. You can imagine how terrifying that was. And then coming to report, getting threatened, stalked, violated, harassed, prank calls, all that chaos, and all they do is bully and cover for years. Then trying to report the abuse of my daughter, they deprived me of a welfare check, covered for her child abuse, enforced it, lied, slandered, open, deprived me of mail, trying to right to escape their abuse. Entice me getting my car detailed, have them slip my seat, leather seat out of malice, ruin food, deprive me of even food purchasing schemes, slander, like at Metro PCS. They actually went through with these schemes. That like the girl did at Metro PCS, I'm afraid. No, I got detained on some of those schemes. They entice people to commit crimes. I got detained at Salvation Army. They scheme with them. That's why they want to investigate. They scheme with Parkland. That's why they were there enforcing it, staying there, guarding me at Parkland, enforcing their crimes, and at Richardson. So since they set it up, they wanted to make sure they didn't get it. No one got a resolution. They already got paid for it. So they were there enforcing it, which is crime. It's a crime. That's why he don't want to take the report, which is a felony crime of tampering with evidence and scheming, so that won't be on his body cam footage. But it happens to be a crime. You can't decide not to investigate yourself. It's criminal. So they're mad. So since they're mad, they need to terrorize me and intimidate me. And when they were mad, they did assault, they did haul me off. It's not a joke. Bill, I'm not getting a resolution. I reported that the conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes, you told me you supplemented and then you lied, had me on hold an hour for the supplement and you never gave it to me. Then the interference with child custody, which is a felony that you're a conspirator in, because you hid documentation. You did not give that to Fox, which is a crime that's tampering with evidence that I gave you. Then you're doing it today and walking off to enforce that crime. I don't know what the problem the government has in enforcing the abuse of my daughter, but that has terrorized me a long time, being disregarded, detained, and violated, given tickets, enforcing my daughter's abuse, which happens to be a crime. Not reporting just suspected child abuse is a Class A misdemeanor, and then in your case, it's probably a felony. But some kind of way, all these charges, Rico charges, tampering with evidence charges, that don't appear to be getting investigated. That's my child. I care about all children, but I guess you pick and choose and you discriminate on which children have importance. So now at this department, reporting child abuse is a crime, and you get citations for reporting child abuse. Like I have already said, when the government doesn't take the value of life seriously out of corruption, I think it's a threat to national security. When the government chooses to behave like the mob. And nothing is done. Where I'm at. Got detained, violated, slandered. Just trying to keep my child safe. They're not playing games. They enforce child abuse at this police department. Which is a crime, So they refuse, like at Walmart. They did not want me to know where the megaphone is. We don't have to tell you, we don't have to talk to you, we don't have to treat you like a human being. We're not going to give you updates for 100 and something reports or your records. We don't have to. Well, you know, your church don't have to talk to you. They don't have to validate the reason why you got drug out of IBOC. They don't have to validate the reason why they isolate you, exclude you from groups, deny you support, all of them, and then bully you in the process. They don't have to talk. They didn't have to talk at 7-Eleven when they said, get out my store, and the police car was there on property. They don't have to state why they did it. They didn't have to state at KFC why they told me to get out again, deprived me of food when I hadn't ate all day and was sick. They don't have to talk about it. And they didn't have to talk about why I was detained, what happened with the child abuse report, criminal trespass. And no one has to discuss why I was assaulted and arrested at New Beginnings just for sitting at a domestic violence support group, afraid and terrified for my life. I mean, we already did a report and I didn't get the report number. Can you give me the report number? Because that is a felony crime. Like you've been already done. I mean, you've racked up a lot of felonies, Bill. You took a report and then since it was incriminating, you didn't want to give me the report number. You can't choose that. That's a crime. I don't know why police can't abide by the law or the government. So you notice these supervisor at Metro. I've been going through this years. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So whoever's enticing these people to commit these crimes, they transfer to the supervisor. That way the supervisor can rescue and enforce the criminal activity. That's why at Metro she had to get on the phone. That's their scapegoat. These supervisors. You know, notice the behavior of these supervisors. These supervisors don't play games. They enforce crimes. And the only reason why I haven't been assaulted, I don't know, they may do it. I don't know what these people are capable of doing. I have been assaulted and arrested. This very department handcuffed me and hauled me to New Dallas Behavior reporting child abuse, where they terrorized me. This is when they were degrading me at a group. I was already terrified. So they degraded me at a group. Then I left the group. And then when I left the group, you have a choice. You don't have to be forced to be in a group and be degraded. Oh, they kept like 3 or 4 people came in, threw me down on the bed like a horror movie, pulled my panties down, gave me a shot. I felt that shot for 2 days. They set up slip hazards, caused me to fall. So I played basketball and I was really happy. So I came back to the room. They had this really wet mop, really wet mop, on camera footage. It was the only room. There was like maybe 15 rooms. I'm not sure, maybe 10, 15 rooms in that area. Mine was the only one mopped. So a whole hospital set up, this is the things I can't talk about. A whole hospital set up a trip hazard, a fall hazard out of abuse. So I fell. And when I reported the fall, they deprived me of the right to go to the cafeteria. They were angry that I fell. So I said, no, I want to go to that's because you're in a mental hospital. And plus I was there on false pretenses. So I wanted to get out. I didn't want to be stuck there. But they forced me to stay in, deprived me of the right to leave because I fell. Then I told them I was having pain from the fall. So they said that there's nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong with the x-ray. I said, there's a problem with this x-ray. They said, what's the problem? I said, I have metal plates in my legs. That doesn't have metal plates. Snap. Then they didn't want to talk about it, and they haven't called me back, returned my calls about the situation to see what was going on with that fall and why they gave me fake x-rays. Is that a crime? So I'm at the police department, and one of the things that for people that like voyeurism, they like to see people naked, nude, and they also, another avenue of the voyeurism, they like to see people in distress and pain. These are one of the things I can't talk about. So I'm stopped, and they create avenues to constantly have me in distress and pain so he can get off on it. So at church, when I'm trying to escape abuse, then they terrorize me. At home, and they have a prank callers call to interrupt. They have people start arguments. They have people mess up my food, ruin my car seat, slip my seat. So it's an ongoing daily experience. When I'm out and about, they do the chaos when I'm shopping, because this person gets off on pain and suffering of other people, of my pain and suffering. I don't know if it's all human beings, if he gets off on everyone's pain and suffering, but I know he definitely takes pleasure in mine. This is who's running the United States. I've been to multiple different FBI locations. He's running them. All police departments I've been to have covered for him and even assaulted me trying to report him and detain me. They assaulted me at Red Roof when I was reporting domestic abuse. They detained me November of 2018, Parkland police reporting him, and then lied about it. They can't get their story straight. They also guarded me at Parkland Hospital to enforce abuse there. And then when they incriminated themselves, put Parkland staff up to doing it. And also I saw them, like I said, demanding their ID to enforce that they conspire with their crimes, which is, I think, is like mob-like mentality. How dare you abuse your power to enforce people to commit crimes with you? It's sick. Caught on camera footage. So Parkland Hospital staff didn't want to conspire with their crimes, so they demanded their ID and terrorized them until they were conspirators in their crimes. Yeah, I just want to be allowed to be happy and have a family without police being taking bribes to try to take the smile off my face, enlisting parties to be a part of their abuse. I want to be happy like every citizen in the United States should have a right to not be terrorized and tortured daily. I don't want people to take to offense of me being happy or taking pleasure in life to the degree that they scheme to cause emotional distress for me. I don't understand why citizens can freely do reports, and it's such an extreme when I'm doing a report where I have to wait for supervisors, right care. I just don't have clarity. Why they have to look on a board and get a pre-written report number, I just don't understand. Why it's just so hard every avenue I take. Why at domestic violence organizations, why I saw other women going to the back, get love and support, why they left me outside, lied and slandered, and witnessed me get assaulted and arrested and did nothing. So I don't understand why my Walmart staff would lie to me about products, dollar stores, take them off the shelves, and I couldn't report it because people wouldn't believe it. How do they even know what I need? They don't want to talk. So I don't know how I'm going to get bullied in a few minutes because I left. So we'll wait and see what they have in store. Is the government scheming to take my constitutional right away to report crimes? Even on the emergency call center system? At the FBI giving me a criminal trespass, giving me a criminal trespass in Tyler? Are you guys committing a huge amount of conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes that I already reported to you and you lied about? Investigation and couldn't find the report number before COVID? Are you guys abusing your power to give me criminal trespasses over and over and over again to enforce your crimes? Racking up Rico charges? Phone's malfunctioning. I'm trying to do my descriptions at the police department. Police! I've been reporting my phone network is hacked. You can see it now. Come take this evidence. Come look at this evidence. It keeps malfunctioning. It's been doing it years. Can you look at this evidence? So I asked them at court. They said that I had to do my police reports here. And I said, what do you do when police commit crimes that you've been doing years? He acted like he was mentally ill and told me that I had to call 311. But I'm concerned about that calling to report child abuse is not a crime, but it is a crime to not take those suspected reports. Some kind of way the prosecutor, the judge, and the police that were at court all committed that crime. And I imagine with your position, that's probably the felony charge. And a multitude of conspirators at this police department have covered for it and enforced it, which is crimes. Conspiracy to violate civil rights is a crime, and there's ample evidence that you guys have conspired a multitude of parties to violate my custody rights as a parent, to terrorize me out of malice. Evidence of that is you lying about the interference with child custody report and depriving me of the evidence, sending that evidence to Fox that you spent all that time to copy in the scheme and never gave it to him. And then when I reported it to him, he also covered for crimes. The harassment case that you have here that you're sabotaging investigation for. In that report, I stated that there were multiple conspirators and tampering with evidence and violating my custodial rights as a parent in that very harassment case that you refused to investigate here. Gooding has that case. So some kind of way that in the child custody agreement that you lost and lied about, and right now you're tampering with evidence again. I don't know what I'm waiting on. It was already on your body cam footage, a report that's kind of abusive to have me do reports and then call a supervisor to tamper with evidence when I've already reported a crime to you. So this is how it is at the police department. I'm reporting crimes. They said that if the police are committing crimes, call 311 or go to police headquarters. And it is a crime to report child abuse now in the United States. You get a citation. Now, they can call and scam with the police and get them out to send right care at church today. That's okay. So when you're conning and scheming with the police department, you can immediately come out and then bully and violate someone for trying to escape domestic abuse. That's not a crime. But calling to report the abuse of your child is now a crime. So some kind of way New Birth Church was able to scheme with the police department there, and that wasn't a crime. But me reporting my daughter's abuse is a crime. So I don't know where to go to report the crimes that they're committing here. When you call 911, they don't come for days and cover for the crimes on my phone. Police headquarters is closed. So are they railroading me to prevent me from reporting the government's crimes altogether? And scamming to silence me out of corruption? Even the court and judges? I'm not allowed to know if they're coming. I've been here a while and I'm trying to report crimes and you're ignoring me. When are they coming? This is abuse bill. I'm ringing the bell. So see the narcissistic abuse at the police department, at our government? When someone is frantic reporting child abuse, you handcuff her and detain her. At Red Roof Inn, when someone is frantic trying to get out of domestic violence that involves the government, you assault her and arrest her and then deprive her of her property so she can be destitute out on the streets. After you assault and arrest her and violate her and then she's released, then you con and scheme that she don't have her property. So she's terrified for her life on the streets. And then entice all local organizations to deprive her of any assistance, all of them, to force her to live in a tent fighting for her life. And then you ring the bell and don't have customer service like other people. And you have to develop a whole YouTube channel because their crimes aren't realistic. And they're still getting away with it.
Dallas 911, Villain City Fire Police or EMS.
I'm calling the non-emergency line, and the police have been depriving me of law enforcement committing crimes for years. And I don't know how to report it. They're depriving me of a police report number for some serious crimes that are happening. and that have been happening years, ranging from guns being pulled on me, assault with a deadly weapon, stalking, hit and runs, identity theft, interference with child custody, child abuse, gang stalking. And they're covering up for it. Identity theft, hack phone network. So he's committing a crime right now. He's tampering with it. He's done it multiple times. And will affect a lot of police at this department, but multiple other departments won't even take my reports. They're so corrupt. So what do you do when police consistently commit felonies over and over again and nothing's done? Enforce the abuse of your child even to the point of detaining you and giving you tickets to enforce it. Interference with child custody is a felony even if the government's behind it. It's still a felony crime. And they're enforcing that crime. I'm waiting and he won't tell me where the supervisor is and is ignoring me. So I call the non-emergency line. What do I do? Because he's committing a crime right now in the police department as they consistently keep doing. "911, are you covering for crimes again? Hello? This is like what happened when I saw the snake."
Do you need the police right now?
Yeah, you didn't hear all that stuff I said, 911?
I heard you talking. Do you need the police at your location right now?
Are you sure? Are you committing a crime of pretending like you're the 911 call system and you're hacking my phone, covering for crimes? How does the government have access to scammers that have scammed me out of money? Are you spoofing calls that I'm making to help the government get away with their crimes, as you've been doing years? Why would the 911 hang up in my face and cover for crimes, me getting attacked and all these serious things that were happening? Why would they lie and cover for them and then refuse dispatch out? And then how would they know to dispatch out criminals every time? I tried to report that the police stole my items and I was trapped on the streets. 911 wouldn't take it. And then eventually I went to Dart Police and my items surfaced. Why wouldn't 911 let me report a theft that had me stuck out, destitute on the streets? Hello?
Would you like the police to your location right now?
I don't know what to do, man, because you guys have been covering up for crimes a long time. This is like a horror movie. I've never seen no horror movie or no Lifetime movie to prepare me for my experience. This is some next level crimes here, man. And it was before COVID. Is that why they were waiting at AT&T and gave me a criminal trespass so I couldn't report the crimes that were going on in my phone, with my phone in 2019? August? Is that why they enforce it and come and give me criminal trespasses so I can stay on this network? How could they entice my provider to deprive me of the hotspot that I'm paying for? But they violate, how can they entice Walmart to mistreat me and sabotage purchase of items? Ma'am, that's abuse. I'm trying to get out of it. So what do I do, ma'am? 911 has been covering up for crimes years. And my cell phone provider. 311, my credit card company. In fact, everyone I call on my phone, the attorneys I try to hire, they lie and cover for crimes, domestic violence organizations. In fact, everywhere I call on my phone, they're covering for crimes, ma'am. I spent countless hours, and everywhere I call, all over the United States is covering for my abuse, ma'am, and keeping me in it. Ma'am, I don't know why you don't have compassion as well as these police. What do I do when the government deprives me of law enforcement and enforces that I speak with scammers that have defrauded me out of funds?
For police for you, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
Would you like me to place a call?
I'm at the police department. Can you call them and have them do law enforcement?
No, ma'am, I cannot. If you're at the police department, then there's no need for you to be contacting 911.
They're not doing law enforcement, ma'am, as they have in years. They've been covering for crimes as well as 911. But I call the non-emergency line, ma'am. Well, I don't know why you'd argue with me, and I told you all those extreme events like they've done in victim witness and multiple different parties. It having me in tears a multitude of times, desperate for my life, and people scamming and lying over the phone, depriving me of housing and everything you can deprive me of, putting me on hold, overcharging me, giving my credit card number to the scammers that have already defrauded me and lied. So I don't know why I would be in tears on the phone countless hours, calling all over the United States, and everywhere I called was being rude and covering for crimes. Even the National Domestic Violence Organization. The National Domestic Violence Hotline.
Ms. Clark, you're tying up a 911 line for emergency calls. You already at the police station. The officers are there to help you.
But a crime is being committed, ma'am, and I'm not being heard of the extreme amount of abuse and how hacking a phone spoofing calls is a crime, ma'am.
Ms. Clark, you're tying up the 911 line. You're at the police station. The officers are there. It's nothing.
They're not doing. They're ignoring me, ma'am, as they've done years.
Okay. Well, we can't help you. You're already there. We can't send police.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. This is true. So in 2022, if the police are committing crimes, there's no way you can report it, period, at all.
You're at the police station.
Right, the crime is being committed at the police station. So now in 2022, when I call on my phone, there's no way, and it hasn't been years, no possible way, no way on the planet, not the DOJ, not the FBI, not at court, not a CPS, at no place, period, on this planet can I go to report crimes, ever, period. Period, that the government, the police are behind. There's no way it can't be done. So if a police is actively committing a crime, there's no way that you can report it, period, ever.
You can't report it through 911, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't know how to report it, ma'am. Can we get a resolution? Because the active crime is going on now as it has for years.
Ms. Clark, are you going to allow me to speak?
Oh, I don't know why you're gaslighting me, ma'am. That's why I want my cell phone